The teacher's dream. My name is David. I'm a teacher. I love my job very much. Every morning I wake up early. I drink tea and get ready. I take my bag and walk to school. The road is quiet and clean. Birds sing in the trees. I feel happy and calm. My school is not big, but it is nice. The walls are blue and yellow. There are many flowers in front of the building. Children run and play outside. When they see me, they smile and wave. They shout, "Good morning, Mr. David." I wave back and smile too. I walk into my classroom. It is full of light. There are small chairs and small tables. The books are on the shelf. The board is clean. I write the date on the board. Then the students come in. They sit down and look at me. They are ready to learn. We start with a song. It is a simple song about colours. The children sing with me. They clap their hands. Then we learn new words. I show a picture of a cat. I say cat. They say cat. I smile. They are learning fast. I use games and drawings to teach. I draw a house. I ask, "What is this?" A boy says, "House." I say, "Yes, good job." The students laugh and talk. They enjoy the class. I feel proud. I want them to love learning English. One day, something strange happened. I was walking to school like always. The sun was shining. The sky was blue. Everything looked normal. But when I reached the school gate, the head teacher came to me. She looked worried. She said, "David, can we talk?" I looked at her face. She looked serious. I said, "Yes, of course." I followed her inside. My heart was beating fast. What was wrong? Did something happen at school? Was a student sick? I didn't know, but I was ready to listen. We went to the office. The head teacher closed the door. She looked at me and said, "David, we have a problem." I sat down and listened. She said, "Some students will leave the school. Their families are moving away." I felt sad. These students were part of my class. I knew their names, their dreams, and their favourite games. I asked, "How many students?" She said, 5 students. They will leave next week. That night I could not sleep. I thought about those children. I remembered their smiles and their voices. I remembered how they tried so hard to learn. I wanted to do something for them. I wanted them to remember English and keep learning. The next day I had an idea. I went to the shop and bought small notebooks. I also bought crayons and stickers. I stayed up late and made simple lesson pages for each child. I wrote, "You can do it," on every page. I drew stars and hearts to make them smile. When I gave them the notebooks, their eyes were wide. One girl said, "For me?" I said, "Yes, for you." A boy said, "Thank you, Mr. David." I smiled and said, "Keep learning. Never stop." They hugged me. My heart felt warm. That day I understood something. Teaching is not just about books. It is about love. It is about care. It is about helping others grow. Even when they leave, my students take my words with them. After the students left, the classroom felt quiet. Their chairs were empty. Their voices were gone. I missed them, but I still had other students. I wanted to give them my best every day. One morning I had a new idea. I wanted to make English more fun. I went to the library and found picture books. I also printed flashcards with animals, colours and food. I put them on the walls. The classroom looked bright and happy. The children loved the new pictures. They pointed and asked, "What is this?" I said, "It's a lion." They shouted, "Lion!" Then we all roared like lions. The room was full of laughter. Learning was not boring. It was fun and full of joy. Every week I taught something new. One week we learned about fruits. I brought real apples and bananas. I said, "This is an apple." They said, "Apple." Then we ate them together. It was a happy lesson. They remembered the words better because they touched and tasted them. At the end of each day, I felt tired but proud. I cleaned the board. I packed my bag. I turned off the lights. Before I left, I looked at the empty classroom. I smiled and said quietly, "Thank you," because teaching made me feel alive. It gave me a reason to wake up every morning. One day, something special happened. A new boy came to my class. His name was Amir. He was quiet and shy. He sat in the back of the room and looked down. He did not speak much. After class, I sat next to him. I said, "Hello, Amir. How are you?" He looked at me and smiled a little. He said, "I don't know English." I smiled back and said, "That's okay. I will help you." The next day I gave Amir a small picture book. It had simple words like cat, dog, ball and tree. I read the words slowly. He listened carefully. He looked at the pictures and pointed. I said the words again. He repeated after me. Each day we practiced together. I gave him easy words and fun games. Sometimes we drew pictures. Sometimes we played matching games. Amir started to smile more. He raised his hand in class. He tried to speak English. 1 week later, Amir said his first full sentence. He stood up and said, "This is a red apple." The whole class clapped. I clapped too. I said, "Good job, Amir." He laughed and looked proud. That small sentence was a big step. I felt happy in my heart. I knew that with time and love, all students can grow, even the quiet ones, even the shy ones. They just need someone to believe in them. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. My students learned more and more. They could say full sentences. They could ask questions. They could sing songs in English. I was so proud of them. One Friday, I had an idea. I wanted to make a learning day. I asked the children, "Do you want to show what you've learned?" They shouted, "Yes." I smiled and said, "Then let's prepare something special." We made posters with words and pictures. One group made a food chart. Another group made a colour wall. Amir drew animals and wrote their names. Some students practiced a small English play. Everyone worked together. On Learning Day, the parents came to school. The classroom was full of people. The students stood in front of everyone. They read words. They said sentences. They showed their posters. They acted in English. The parents clapped and smiled. At the end, one parent came to me. She said, "Thank you, Mr. David. My son loves English now." Another parent said, "My daughter speaks English at home." I felt so happy. My hard work was helping families too. That night I sat in my room. I thought about the day. I looked at a photo of my class on the wall. I said to myself, "This is why I teach. This is my dream." One morning I came to school and found a letter on my desk. It was from Amir. He wrote, "Thank you, Mr. David. You helped me speak English. Now I want to be a teacher like you." I smiled as I read the letter. My heart felt warm. I kept the letter in my bag. I knew I would read it many times. That day I looked at my class. The students were laughing, reading and learning. I thought, this is more than a job. This is my purpose. Teaching is not always easy. Sometimes I feel tired. Sometimes I feel worried. But when I see my students grow, I feel strong again. I will keep teaching. I will keep helping. Because this is not just my job. This is my dream.